Okay, this is lesson 29, B as in boy, the second part in Algebra 2 on doing uniform motion problems. So let's look at example 29.2. Edward Longshanks and Queen Eleanor were 54 miles apart at dawn. So let's put Edward, call him Ed, and we'll put the Queen, we'll call her L. They were 54 miles apart at dawn. So 54 miles. Edward began the journey to the meeting place. Okay, so here's the meeting place. Make it a cool little house here. There's their meeting place. He started at 8 a.m. So he started at 8 a.m. And he went at a speed, let's call it RE for the rate of Ed. And no, let's make it Ed because Eleanor starts with an E too. The rate of Ed, red, was 3. All right, so the Queen started 2 hours later. So she started at 10 a.m. And she set out to meet him. And they met at 4 o'clock. So they came to their cool meeting place. So she's going this way. He's going this way. 4 o'clock p.m. they meet. So that means Ed was on the road. He started at 8 and went to 4. So he was on the road for 8 hours. The Queen started at 10 and she got there at 4. So she was on the road for 6 hours. So the time of Ed was 8. The time for Eleanor was 6. We know the rate of Ed was 3, but we don't know the rate of Eleanor. That's what we are looking for. All right, but I do know that the distance Ed went plus the distance Eleanor went was 54 miles. So that means the rate of Ed times time plus the rate of Eleanor times time is going to equal 54. I know that to be a fact. All right, so let's plug in what we know. I know that the rate of Ed was 3. So the rate of Ed was 3, and Ed's time was 8. I don't know the rate of Eleanor, but I know her time was 6, and 54 miles was the total distance. All right, so I've got all that. Let's kind of move things up a little bit so I can keep going here. We'll do the rest of this in green. So 24 plus 6 times the rate of Eleanor equals 54. Okay, so the 6 times the rate of Eleanor equals 54 minus 24. We subtract 24 from both sides, that goes away. So 6 times the rate of Eleanor equals 54 minus 24 is 30. So the rate of Eleanor is going to be 30 over 6, which means she was going 5 miles per hour. So she was either jogging or riding a pony or riding a bicycle. But Queen Eleanor and Edward Longshanks lived back in the 1200s, so not sure what mode of transportation they would have used, but 5 miles an hour is pretty speedy for a queen, because I always think of a queen as being kind of old, wearing long flowing dresses and lots of jewelry, so that seems like that might be a little tough. Alright, so that's 29.2. Let's look at 29.3. This is one of my favorites. At noon, Rocket Man whizzed off toward Rocket Land. 1 hour later, Moonfa, I love that name, somebody should name their kid Moonfa, whizzed off in the opposite direction at a speed 200 kilometers per hour, less than that of Rocket Man. If they were 11,800 kilometers apart at 5. How fast did each travel? All right, so they both started at the same place. Rocket Man, good song by Elton John. We'll put there. Moonfa, her distance was there, or his distance. They started off at the same place. When they got to where they were going, the total distance that they traveled was 11,800 kilometers, which we really don't care. Kilometers, miles, whatever. It doesn't change your answer at all. Let's see. What do we know? We know the distance of Rocket Man plus the distance of Moonfa was 11,800. Okay, not too bad. We know that the rate of Rocket Man times the time of Rocket Man plus the rate of Moonfa times the time of Moonfa equals 11,800. We just switched the distances with RTs. Okay? We know, let's see, what do we know? We know that at noon Rocket Man left, and we're interested at 5 o'clock. So the time that Rocket Man traveled was 5 hours. Moonfa started an hour later. So she started at 1, and by 5, that was 4 hours. We also know that, the speed. At a speed 200 kilometers less than that of Rocket Man. So Moonfa's speed was whatever Rocket Man's speed was, minus 200 miles per hour, or kilometers per hour, because it was 200 less. All right, so let's see what we got. Rocket Man's speed, we'll just call it RR for Rocket Man, and Moonfa's was 200 less. So this ends up being Moonfa's speed. So RT, and then this times this. So we've got just we have the right number of variables here. So let's take this top equation there that's showing and put what we know. We do not know the rate of Rocket Man. We know his time was 5. We know that Moonfa's was Rocket Man's minus 200. That's how fast she was going, or he. I don't think I'd name a boy Moonfa. I don't think I'd name a girl Moonfa. I don't think I'd name my dog Moonfa. Okay, 5. R plus. And let's switch this around. I'm just going to put the 4 there so that I can distribute. It just kind of looks better. So 5R plus 4R minus 800. Okay. Oops, equals 11,800. I keep forgetting to put that in there. Sorry about that. I'm just kind of taking off without putting my 11,800. Why didn't you remind me? Okay, so let's slide all this up so it's out of my way. And that bottom thing there in yellow, we'll do with white now. We're going to add these together. 9. We're going to add 800. Add 800. And we get 9 rate of Rocket Man equals 12,600. Divide by 9, divide by 9, and of course I'm doing this different than the book is, but we end up with the same answer here. Rocket Man's rate is 1,400 kilometers per hour, and what are we looking for? How fast did each travel? So Rocket Man traveled 1,400 at a speed, and Moonfa, rate of Moonfa, we said was the rate of Rocket Man minus 200, so Moonfa was 1,200 kilometers per hour. Now they found Moonfa first, and then found Rocket Man after that, but either way is fine. I just found it easier to do it this way. Alright, that's it for lesson number 29.